to the lineup. I'm Megan McDonald. It is such an exciting time for the conference these days. As you may or may not know, baseball starts up this week. Softball got going last week. We are just a few weeks out from the WAC basketball tournament in Las Vegas. So as for the lineup show, we're going to focus more on WAC hoops. Starting on the men's side, we have another 1 and 2 showdown, or technically CSU Bakersfield is tied for second, but that's here nor there. The runners are on the road down in Las Cruces taking on former WAC champ New Mexico State. We have a battle for the lead in the WAC. The Aggies are coming off a 71-41 loss at Wichita State, but they're home this week and have won 33 straight WAC games at the Pan American Center, which is the second longest conference home win streak in the nation, just right behind Stephen F. Austin with 36. The last time these two teams saw each other, the game went to 2 OTs, and the Aggies prevailed at Bakersfield when Ian Baker hit a 28-foot three-pointer at the buzzer for a 68-67 win. But it looks like the runners could be peaking at the right time as they are on a 4-game win streak, beating UMKC, Chicago State, and Utah Valley twice. The WAC Digital Network has started a new Learn, Compete, Inspire series, and the first student athlete featured is CSUB's Kevin Mays. Take a look.
My name is Kevin Mays, and I'm a forward at CSU Bakersfield. I'm from Queens, New York, and this is my story.
Mays got the step inside and score. Mays so active along the baseline.
Growing up in Queens, you know, it was tough. You know, kids grow up a lot faster, or forced to grow up a lot faster in New York. Like in other places, kids can be kids, but when you're in New York and everything just moves so fast, the lifestyle, you know, everything is just, it forces you to become an adult faster. It wasn't what people think it is. It wasn't like, you know, it wasn't the jungle, like, you know what I mean? Like, maybe not for me because I was from there, but it was just regular life for me, you know? My family was mean. That explains what you're looking at now. I mean, I grew up with 8 uncles in the house with me, and they definitely didn't cut me no slack. I feel like, as far as basketball, my uncle had the most major impact on me. Like, you know, he kept me focused, you know, kept me out of the streets, kept me in the gym. The females in my life were very, very loving and caring women. I have my mom first. You know, she's been my biggest inspiration, my biggest motivation. She's been with me through thick and thin, you know, ups and downs. She's always had my back. When I first went to military school, within 2 weeks, I think I got into an altercation and they wanted to send me home. And that coach fought for me to stay, and that was like the turning point where things just started clicking for me, and I matured. And that last opportunity, you know, gave me the opportunity to be who I am today. My life was supposed to be over then. Stats show I'm not even supposed to be here, you know, but. Without basketball, I wouldn't be able to get a college education. It changed my life. It was probably the biggest impact that I've ever had. You know, changed the path of my family. When I first got the college scholarship, a lot of my family, you know, my aunts, my uncles, they reached out to me and they expressed that they were really proud of me for opening up the doors and making a path for their kids. Because when they were growing up, no one had went to college in our family, so they had nothing to look forward to. So it definitely made me proud to know that I opened the doors up for my little cousins and you know, generations to come. I want to build a legacy for myself, you know, and definitely my family. I want to be able to provide for my family. So that's my biggest motivation as of now. I mean, I'm still growing every day. But to be coached by, you know, a great coach like Rob Barnes, he definitely taught me a lot about myself, and I'm still learning.
Kevin Mays, just a ton of heart in that guy. This team will need some of that will and drive to overtake the Aggies, and mad props to executive producer of the WAC, Robbie Gabrielli, for putting that together. Another key matchup, and it just so happens to be our men's game of the week. It's Grand Canyon hosting UMKC. GCU, one of the schools tied for second place with Bakersfield, while UMKC is currently in sixth place with a record of 3-7. Be sure to tune in to wacsports.com/live to catch it. Heading right on over to the women's side, as of right now, New Mexico State is currently tied for a share of the WAC regular season title. And as you know, the Aggies are undefeated in conference play and just overall having an excellent season. With just one more win, they can outright clinch the WAC regular season title. And who knows, it could be their first game, could be their second, but their first game is against CSU Bakersfield. The Aggies riding its second longest win streak in program history at 12 games. The only other time NM State has reached 12 straight wins was during the 76-77 season. So with just one more win, they'll not only clinch the WAC regular season title, but will extend the streak to 13 wins, giving it sole possession of the second longest winning streak in program history. But not so fast. CSU Bakersfield was the team that snapped their 12-game win streak just last season. So will history repeat itself? We'll see if the league's leading rebounder, Badame Zampari, can rebound her way to a victory against the Aggies. Something to keep your eye on, there's a three-way tie for third place right now. The next couple weeks will determine seeding for the conference tournament, so teams really know how important finishing strong means in this situation. Those three teams, Grand Canyon, CSUB, and Utah Valley, GCU losing the last 2 out of 3 games at home, but picked up a win against Seattle U in their last outing. Obviously, the runners have to get through the Aggies first. Then they take on second in the WAC UTRGV. This will not be a walk in the park for CSUB. And last but not least, in that tie for third place is Utah Valley. The Wolverines have won 2 out of their last 3 games, only dropping to New Mexico State, but picking up a big-time win against UTRGV, who has been having a record-setting season. Is UVU peaking at the right time? We'll have to wait and see. As I mentioned earlier, 2 games of the week this week that you can stream live on the WAC Digital Network. That's the UMKC men traveling to Grand Canyon and the New Mexico State women traveling to CSU Bakersfield. But those are not the only games that you can watch live, so take a look at the full schedule. A ton of action on the WDN this week, 8 games total, split right in half between the men and the women. That includes both games of the week. For the men, UTRGV hosts Seattle U, UMKC travels to Utah Valley, and Seattle U still on the road later in the week taking on New Mexico State. On the women's side, CSU Bakersfield hosts New Mexico State, and then later the runners host UTRGV, and then Utah Valley plays UMKC, all live on the WAC Digital Network. All of those games you can find at wacsports.com/live. And just a quick reminder, baseball starts up this week. Softball started up last week. All those teams in various tournaments around the country. For a full schedule, check us out at wacsports.com, or you can always follow us on Twitter and Facebook.